You're tuned to the In the Know Breakfast Show with BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. I'm your host, AD, and today I've invited a very special guest who really sticks it to the man. She's a woman of STEM with a brilliant mind for science, and she steady grows her Instagram followers as a result of her inspiring, amazing works of art, her pictures, and just being completely herself. All the way from Ghana, please welcome Nana Owusu Tieku. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell me what it is that you do?
Well, currently I'm a PhD candidate, and my research is on liver cancer.
Wow. And how far along are you with that research?
Well, actually, before COVID-19 happened, I was about 3 semesters out from finishing. But now with COVID and me not being able to complete my program because I need to be in the lab doing research, that date has kind of been pushed back a bit.
Oh man, but it's not far off.
Yeah, that's true. But then, it depends on when is everything going to open up again? When can I go back? So those are other limiting factors right now.
And for those who don't know you, you are studying a PhD in China, right?
Yes.
Really awesome. Can you tell me what it is that inspired you to get into this, line of work, the field of science?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. So I've always enjoyed biology for as long as I can remember. It's always been my best subject. In high school, biology, I was just naturally good at biology, and it was also something I enjoyed. So then when I did my undergrad at Franklin Marshall in the States, it's a liberal arts college, so you're not allowed to declare a major until your junior year. So, I kind of had an idea that I wanted to do biology, and I did other courses as well. But as I did my biology courses, I was like, okay, I still want to do biology, but I wasn't sure, which direction in biology I wanted to go until my senior year of college. Senior year, I think it was the second to last semester. I took a course called Cancer Biology by Dr. David Roberts. Changed my life, the most interesting thing. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
So then I did my master's at ANU. I already had an idea that okay, I'm really interested in cancer biology, but there wasn't really a cancer biology track. So I kind of just did a master's in biotech. But I was lucky enough that, because I was doing a master's by research, I actually, for one of my classes, was a research proposal class. So I started working with Dr. Dipti Talulukar at the Canberra Hospital, and she's a hematologist. So I ended up doing my master's thesis in her lab. So I was able to research lymphoma and leukemia. So that's kind of funneled me into actually getting real research experience in cancer and everything.
And it's really crazy. Obviously we've got, underrepresentation of women in STEM. Mm-hmm. We go one step further and have a woman of color in STEM.
Yeah.
How's that been? Have you seen, many people like yourself? Have you, do you have many African peers or female peers, for that matter, in your field of work?
So interesting enough, when I was in my undergrad, there was quite a few women. I think it was almost average women to men. In the States, a lot of people were pre-med, so their goal was to go into med school after. So there were biology majors with the goal of going into med school. But I was the only, there was 2 Black women, myself and another girl, undergrad, that I saw in my class. But there was an Iranian girl, there was an Indigenous American girl. So there was other people of color there. But in terms of being Black women, there was only 2 of us. And then during my master's course, there were still a few women. Of note, there were about 4 women of color. I was the only Black woman, though. And currently in my program, there's quite a few women, but I'm the only Black woman.
How important is it, do you think, to have that kind of representation, seeing people of your color in these kinds of fields? Can you hear me?
Oh, it's very important because especially in my field, it's research-based, right? So, for example, for breast cancer, people were focused on ER positive or PR positive breast cancer. They didn't really know that triple negative breast cancer existed until people started doing research in Black women or women of African descent, when they realized that actually in these populations, triple negative breast cancer has a higher incidence rate and triple negative cancer is more deadly. So you need a diversity to bring a new perspective to your research, because research can be biased, unfortunately, based on your personal scopes and your personal limitations.
Wow. And do you feel like your perspective, your diversity, because I know you're a very open-minded person from knowing you, and I also know that you've been everywhere. First of all, can you tell us some of the countries you've been to? Because you're well-traveled.
Travel or lived in, because that's a different list.
Let's go with lived in first, because I feel like the travel would be a very extensive list.
Okay, so far, so just to prefix it, I've lived on 5 of the 7 continents so far.
Wow.
So I've lived in Australia, I live in China, Ghana, Swaziland, Eritrea, Sudan, the States, Italy.
Wow.
Those are the places I've lived in.
Wow. And do you feel like, it's changed your mind in the way that you look at things because you've traveled, or do you feel like you've always been that person and traveling just seems to be, icing on the cake?
Oh, no, I think definitely because I've traveled a lot, that's definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. I think it's also made me understand people's cultures a lot easier, and that makes relating to people in interpersonal relationships a lot easier. So yeah, definitely, because also with the traveling, I went to international school, so I met a huge variety of people, so then you learn more things that you probably wouldn't have been exposed to in the process. So I think definitely traveling around a lot has kind of made me who I am.
Yeah. You're tuned into the In the Know Breakfast Show with BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. I'm your host, AD, speaking with the beautiful scientist, Nana. Nana, you're not only brains, are you? So we got to talk about, the whole being featured on essence.com, which is essentially a digital magazine?
Yes.
Talk to us about
it. It's a digital magazine. It's actually an in-print magazine, but essence.com is just the digital version of the print magazine.
Mm-hmm. How did that happen?
Oh, well, to be very honest, I am still not sure to this day, but I have a theory. So I have a really great friend, Annette. She actually runs, a movement / a Facebook group / an Instagram page called Fat Girls Traveling. And her mission is that, people love to travel, and there's a lot of travel pages on Instagram, but the kind of people that they feature are usually, conventionally attractive or societal ideals, tall, slim, highly attractive, societally attractive people. But she was like, well, fat people travel too. And we look great, we go to great destinations, but we never get featured on these pages. So, fat people do regular stuff too. So she made a platform to celebrate us in our traveling. So I think my picture was on her Instagram page, and I think a writer from Essence saw it from there, because Annette's the one who told me that I got featured on Essence.
And for the people that haven't seen your Instagram and the picture, it's a picture of you wearing a swimsuit, sitting on a swing thing. Really, 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 really lovely picture. If anybody wants to check it out. How important is it, do you feel, to be confident in who you are, to walk this earth? Because I know, just hanging around you for a few months, I was walking around like a queen. So how is it that you do that? Where does this insane energy come from, this confidence?
Honestly, I don't know. I've always felt this way about myself, right? I guess if I had to trace it back, it'd probably be my parents, because for as long as I can remember, my mom and my dad have always told me that you're beautiful, you're smart, you can do anything you put your mind to, you're a great person, people love you. So I've just grown up knowing these things about me. I got that validation from the people that mattered the most to me. So I guess what anybody else thought of me doesn't really matter, because the people who know me the best think I'm great.
That's it. And that's all that matters. I mean, what's that saying? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
But it'll come up sometime. What message would you have for, other young girls and women, who aspire to follow their dreams, whether it's in, the science field and just things that they feel might be unreachable or hard, or they don't see people of their own color reflectant in those kind of jobs, so they're too scared to even approach it, or even just with confidence within themselves. Like, what message would you throw out there for?
I guess what I would tell them is that, I understand it's daunting when you don't see people that look like you, but then you can be that one person that opens the door for other people, right? You can be that trailblazer. There's nothing wrong with you taking the chance. And my dad always says this one thing that I will always stick with me forever. He's like, all you need in life is one yes. Even if you get a million no's, that one yes is 100% success rate. Right. So no matter how many doors slam in your face, you just need that one yes.
Yes.
So for that, that's I guess what I advise them in, like, pursuing their dreams, their careers. You can be the trailblazer, and for your confidence, like, at the end of the day, like, other people's opinions of you are not your business. Like, those are their opinions of you, and it has nothing to do with you at all. So just let that roll off your back. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but it gets easier with time.
It takes practice, like everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And to finish off the show, during COVID times and ups and downs and uncertainties, I really like to ask my guests 3 things that they're grateful for at this very moment in time.
Okay. I am grateful for my parents, because my parents were like, "You're coming home." I was actually in the States when COVID happened. So they were like, "You're not going back to China, you're coming home." So I'm very grateful for my parents. I am grateful for my partner. He's incredible, and he's like keeping me sane right now. And I am also really grateful for my lovely friends, internet friends and real life friends, because it's just been great to have people to talk to, whilst we're isolated. I'm never short of company.
Yeah, honestly. And I think that's been a big problem for some people, that they're so used to being out and about, that it's really hard. But at the end of the day, just talking to people, you don't need to see people to kind of feel the same love. So I'm glad that from Ghana, you're still getting all of that energy from around the world to keep you up, to keep you going. It's awesome. And I hope you come and visit Australia sometime soon.
Girl, it's on my list of things to do. Like, don't you even worry. Like, it's on my list. Like, I've been going around. I was like, okay, I had to go back to the States. So I went back to the States. Australia's next on the list. So I'll be there.
Yes, I'm so glad. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. You were listening to the In the Know Breakfast Show with BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. I'm your host, AD, and I was talking to women of STEM, Nana, Owusu, Tieku. Thank you so much. Live all the way from Ghana.
Yes.